Hello everybody, I'm Lisa.
I'm Beverly.
And it's Jimin's birthday.
Yes, absolutely. Welcome back to our channel. We appreciate you guys coming, and hopefully you stay for the duration. And this is
Park Jimin Introduction 2023. So we thought we'd take this on. It's a long one, but I'm sure it'll be worth it.
Yes.
And happy birthday, Jimin.
Jimin.
Okay, let's go.
This is an introduction video for Park Jimin, the main dancer and lead vocalist of the biggest and most successful group today, BTS. Real name, Park Jimin. Stage name, Jimin. Born October 13, 1995. From Busan, South Korea. Role in the group, lead vocals and the main dancer. Jimin's dance route starts at the Just Dance Academy in Busan, where he excelled in hip-hop, freestyling, popping, and isolation. He made a local name for himself by joining many street dance battles as well as winning multiple talent competitions. At one point, when Jimin's parents couldn't afford the tuition fee, the school let him take classes for free so they wouldn't lose a talent like him. Jimin also excelled in school. He was a part of robotics building club, football club.
Well, we didn't know that his parents,
Yeah.
wow. And they knew then how good he was.
Absolutely.
So he definitely
Yeah.
excelled.
Mhm.
Well, we knew just
Yeah.
by watching that one little video. Oh, he is so good.
Yeah.
And now we're beginning to see the rest of it.
Mm-hmm. Robotics.
Mm-hmm. Football, track.
Yeah.
He was a part of a book club, was excellent at track and a part of billiards club. On top of that, he was a part of the student council from elementary to high school. That's 9 years of switching between class president and class vice president.
Wow.
Jimin also, all throughout his schooling, was on top of his class, achieving perfect scores, especially in math. He was even called the god of math and would cover for his math teacher. He was also good at
Wow.
science, arts, and physical education.
Wow.
Because of all of this, Jimin was already quite popular amongst his peers. One of his old classmates has said that at the high school retreat, girls went crazy after.
Girls went crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
Look,
That's
that's a given.
yeah, it's kind of a given.
Yes.
Even back then.
I just want to read this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he said he was really handsome. If you see him in person, he was just wearing glasses and enjoying his school life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my goodness. But I still remember that at the high school.
High school retreat. Okay.
Oh, my. He even had abdominal muscles then. All girls ran to the stage because Jimin and the stage collapsed.
Oh. Oh, because of Jimin, they ran to the stage, and the stage collapsed.
Oh my goodness. And also they flocked to the toilet to see Jimin.
Oh, when he would come out.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
The entrance door of the toilet was torn out.
After he danced to the song Melodic by TVXQ, taking off his glasses and even showing off his abs. What's wholesome is that the main vocalist of the group said that he likes Jimin. Jimin was admitted into the Busan High School of Arts as a valedictorian in the modern dance department. Jimin took on various dance styles, such as contemporary dance, jazz, Korean dance, ballet. Jimin was even called the rising star of Busan.
I love this video.
I do too. Look at those legs. I
Yeah.
mean, they're so contoured.
It's just so graceful, though.
It is. It's very graceful.
Good. 참고로.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's his teacher.
Yeah.
He also had the time to train in various forms of martial arts, such as Taekwondo, in which he has a black belt, Hapkido, and Kendo for 8 years.
앞으로 내려치기 하루에 1,500번. 1,500번 했다고? 네? 뻥치지 마. 체력 훈련 형 검사하지 왜 여기 있냐? 엄마한테 그랬죠. 엄마 저는 세계 최고의 검투사가 되는 게 꿈이에요. 검투사가 돼. 우와!
He was also the first and only freshman offered a scholarship to study martial arts more extensively abroad in China. Unknown fact to a lot of BTS fans would be that Jimin, just like RM, also enjoys artwork and visits to art exhibitions and museums. Jimin also knows how to play the piano, is learning how to play the guitar, loves to read and write poems. Since Jimin was a smart kid, his dad wanted Jimin to become a prosecutor. In an interview with Busan Art School magazine, Jimin's dad has also said that he felt like he was losing a genius when Jimin expressed wanting to be a public dancer rather than a pure dancer. He also was worried, because success is not always guaranteed in this type of work.
Isn't that
In
the
the same
truth?
interview, he stated, in middle
Yeah. I'm sure that his parents wanted him to do something that...
Well, he
that-
wanted to be a prosecutor.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
I think he also said, if not a prosecutor, then a scientist. Which...
Because
He
he's
was-
very smart.
Yeah, he obviously excelled in everything, and his perfectionism thing probably, if you had chosen either of those fields, he would have been
He would have been.
he would have been just fine
Yeah.
in them. But I can understand why they were worried, because there's so many, hundreds and hundreds of groups.
That never do but debut.
No, or if they debut, they don't last 90 days.
Yeah.
It's the statistics are just outrageous on this, so I can see why they would have been worried about, but they knew this is what he really wanted to do.
Yeah.
Oh, here, this is his father talking about when he
Had to write about his
the
future.
Let's see what they say.
school, there was a time where Jimin had to write about his future. In his paper, he wrote that he wanted to go to Busan Arts High School and learn dance and use that background and combine it with music to become a singer or a celebrity. His paper was very detailed, and I think this was the start of his dream to become an idol. Jimin has said that when he expressed wanting to dance and make music, his dad agreed straight away and even took him to every audition. In a recent interview, the director of the Just Dance Academy mentioned Jimin's father didn't force his children to do things. When Jimin was practicing until 2 or 3 in the morning, he would wait in the car parked outside. When
my
no one
gosh.
was out in clubs, he would always come, even though other parents didn't. In the same exclusive one-time interview, the dance director said, "I first met Jimin when he was in his first year of junior high school. I taught popping classes which Jimin's school used to attend for their extracurricular activity. Whether I taught him how to do a wave or popping, he was the only one who would make an extraordinary improvement. That's why I invited him to the Just Dance Academy. I remember him believing in himself, enjoying the process of trying, and always having a smile on his face. High school students would play when school exams were over. However, Jimin would come here saying, I want to practice more street dance, since I can't learn it in lessons at Busan High School of Arts. The school's door was open 24 hours, so there were many times where Jimin was practicing on his own, even on Sundays. He was intelligent and was the type of person who was loved by the teachers. When you're with him, the people around him become positive too. Link to this wonderful interview, as well as many others, down in the description box. At the time, Jimin's modern dance teachers were opposed to the idea of Jimin becoming an idol, as they felt that the world of dance would be losing a great artist.
Wow.
단열을 오른다는 게 쉬운 일은 아니잖아요.
와우.
부산에서 방시혁 기획사 대표가 하는 어떤 그런 오디션에 나간다고 했을 때 지민이한테 지금 이걸 마지막으로 빨리 네가 전공을 정했으면 좋겠다. 가수가 될지 아니면 순수한 내용을 할지 이번이 마지막이 됐으면 좋겠다고 했는데 합격을 했더라고요. 그게 뭐 제가 알기로는 몇천 명 오디션을 보고 왔는데 한 명이 지민이가 됐다 해서 얘가 무슨 가능성이 있구나, 잠재력이 있구나라고 제가 그때부터 생각하게 됐죠.
Jimin auditioned for Big Hit Entertainment in spring of 2012. After successful auditions, Jimin went to Seoul to train on May 15, 2012. Jimin has had one of the shortest idol training periods ever. After being a trainee under Big Hit for around 6 months, he got a position in the group and joined BTS as the last member and was revealed as a member on January 12, 2013. A lot of trainees were surprised by Jimin's various skills.
현대 무용과 힙합 댄스를 출제하는 애가 들어오게 된다라는 걸 들어왔을 때, 야, 현대 무용하고 힙합 댄스를 둘 다 출제한다고?
That guy right there, he's the one that's been doing a lot of interviews, I think.
Right.
And he was telling how nice and how what we see is exactly how they are.
Yes. and I think he's one of the last to be let go.
Yeah, he
They
could
didn't
be.
make it. Hmm.
You would think he'd be bitter, but he kept-
Doesn't seem to be.
No.
Yeah.
다 가져가야만 속이 후련했냐?
그래서 딱 오자마자 안녕하세요 막 인사를 하고 이랬는데 얼굴이 되게 애기애기하고 또 이제 또 약간 지민이가 또 약간 이렇게 지민이가 오자마자 나랑 이제 막 몸을 풀더라고요. 그래서 막 몸 풀다가 갑자기 공중제비를 차는 거예요. 그래서 뭐지? 그래서 와 이 친구 대단한 친구.
또 무엇을 해야 될지를 모르는 게 너무 힘들었었던 것 같고요. 4시까지 하고 이제 6시 반쯤에 일어나서
다시 또 연습하고 또 새벽 한 4시쯤 집에 들어와서 자고 그랬던 거예요?
네.
막 힘들지 않아요?
아 그때는 안 힘들었었던 것 같아요. 이게 아버지한테 달에 한 번씩 전화하면서 안 될 수도 있다. 근데
와우.
실망만 하지 마라. 제가 여기서 떨어져도 뭐 뭘로든 제가 해낼 테니까 너무 실망만 안 하셨으면 좋겠다면서.
Despite all of the obstacles, 6 months later, on 13th of June 2013, Jimin got to debut with BTS as one of the two main dancers, and as well as lead vocalist.
고등학교 가고 싶어서 예고 갔고 서울 올라오고 싶어서 오디션 보고 갔고 데뷔하고 싶어서 데뷔했고 1등하고 싶어서 1등했고.
Jimin was an instant star. His acrobatic skills drew the public's attention to the rookie group.
This is
Yeah.
what drew.
Yeah, but this was a year
As a
into
rookie,
it.
he already ranked amongst other popular idols in various Best Dancer polls.
일부러 키우는데
네.
몸이 다릅니다.
많아요.
그걸 아는 거죠.
무려 35%의 지분율을 획득했습니다.
기분 좋은 하나, 둘, 셋.
At the time, Jimin was already helping with ideas for the choreography. For example, he was the one who came up with hat dance trick choreography.
안무가 정확하기 시작한 건 이제 지민이의 이 발가기와 매트릭스 날아차기와 그 위협을 풀고의 모닥불 아닙니까 사실. 그죠?
Jimin's greatest strength as a dancer is his ability to merge together his background in various martial arts, his hip-hop roots, as well as his contemporary training. While watching him dance, you can see that he is precise and tends to add a little extra to the choreography.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He prioritizes elongated and fuller movements which express deeper emotions. He is the beat.
Yeah.
That was. I'm sorry. That
He dances to the tips
that
of
was
his fingers.
so graceful.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. And he uses, they've said it, but even his fingers, you can always see the elongated movement, and it's just more expressive, and it is. And, you know, it's more dramatic because the way he throws his head back, or, you know, and anything like that, the way he moves his hands out and stuff. It's, and I think the other members have learned from that, because you see them do it more than you do in the older choreo. You
I
don't
think
see it.
V has become more expressive.
Right. Yeah, I think they've all learned that what Jimin's doing, like with his hands and stuff.
J-Hope
Yeah.
too. J-Hope has no bones. We
Right,
already
no,
know that.
Yeah, he's an amazing
Dancer.
Dancer, absolutely. But he and Jimin are very different. They're both phenomenal, but it is different. And I guess you see the blending of the modern and the martial arts too in Jimin's dancing that you don't typically see in the choreo of any group.
Right,
You just don't see what he does. It's just more. You know, it's excellent.
He puts that added zing in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And basically optimizes his movements with sliding and gliding over the stage.
Oh,
That always amazes me.
That's the
You
one
know
you
that-
were talking about the
Yeah.
other day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Just the way he
He
like glides
glides
across
the
it's
stage.
amazing.
He is also a master of optimizing his performances. Starting from masterful spinning whenever he needs to travel a short distance, these movements help to make the stage more colorful and exciting. Jimin also has the ability to travel across the stage at great speeds. When Jimin's part ends, he quickly moves into his new position, which is often further away, all while never missing a beat and holding a stable note.
Oh,
yeah.
see that?
Uh-huh. And it's like he just automatically knows
Because
where
of
he needs.
Jimin's
You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
yeah,
It's-
I think
Time
they
you pause
do.
the
They
video,
all
you will
have
be
to
greeted
know
with his
well,
where
yes.
everybody is exactly, or they bang into each other all the time.
I
But
know.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is. It is to have that choreography,
Yeah.
which is a hard word for me to say, but and it's almost like pieces of puzzles moving,
Yeah.
and it's so
Well,
graceful
that's
to
it.
watch.
But you know, that is their dedication to dance perfection. You know, I mean, they must practice hours and hours and hours
Well,
to get
we know that.
we know they
yeah.
do, but to get everything exactly right, the exact same hand movements, the exact same look off to the side, or you know, all of those things,
And
but just
making
knowing how to back up and not run into somebody and get into a different position.
But if you watch them, they do this effortlessly.
But it's because they've created muscle memory of it.
Ah, yeah.
You know, it's because it wasn't effortless. It is at the time they
Execute it.
execute it, but to learn it
Oh, yeah.
is something else. But he does cover an awful lot of stage, because I know one of them actually had counted his steps,
Oh, yes.
because he changes position a great deal and a far distance. So they actually counted his steps compared to the others. It was like, who thinks of that?
I know.
But interesting, very interesting. Okay, look at his position here.
I know. Awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
I would have been on the ground.
Mm-hmm. And the dance from the 2019 MMAs is just one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. It's just tremendous. It's gorgeous. Let's see where they
Beautiful
go.
dance lines and cool, composed facial expressions. Also, you may or may not have noticed Jimin's trained ballerino stance.
I have.
Jimin is also known for his work ethics and being a perfectionist.
형이가 쓸모없어. 아, 그쵸. 한 번은 더 해보면 좋을 것 같아요. 그렇지. 더 성장하는 제가 되도록 노력하겠습니다. 이렇게 항상 부족함을 느끼는 이 마음. 아, 난 아직 멀었다. 동생이 뒤에서 잘 따라가겠습니다. 여기 가. 지금? 오늘은 끝. 안 돼, 한 번 더 하자. 한 번 더 할래? 마이크 와? 뭐 어떻게 할래? 이어서. 이거 어때요? 이거 괜찮다. 그쵸? 앞에 문제래요. 앞에 뭐 하지? 한번 해봐봐.
Jimin is serious about his craft, and often behind the scenes you can see him helping to improve the choreography, giving his ideas and helping other members learn the choreo.
진영도 이거 같이 맞춰주는 거 같아. 진짜 빡세. 내가 이때 형 호동이 이때 내가 좀 많이 나가죠. 약간 그쵸. 야. 근데 몸은 뒤에 있는데. 왜 반대를 그렇죠. 앞뒤.
Oh my goodness.
박자만 생각해주고.
Jen.
갑자기 정신 안 차리려.
But you know what I've noticed right here is they're all, when he does it, he throws in, you know, even though he's explaining to them or talking to them and saying, this is, we need to do this.
Yeah.
He's always got a smile on his face. He's always laughing. He's
Yeah.
joking with them.
Yes.
He's to make that,
He doesn't do it in scary
Scared.
dance leader mode.
yeah.
And he also says things like, I make mistakes too, before he leads into your mistake.
Yeah.
You know. So he softens the blow always.
I guess. And well,
He's
he
an
looks,
empath.
he
you know?
he just has that, okay, maybe we should do it this way. Watch, guys. What
Yeah.
do you think? You know?
Yeah.
And he's always pulling them into making it better. It's really
Agreed.
very cool to watch.
Yeah.
진짜 어떡하지? 차라리 저를 퍼드치면 너무 형이 알아서 다 해주세요.
Even though
I'll
he is
take
a
care of
perfectionist,
everything.
contrary to a lot of introduction videos, Jimin actually doesn't mind his mistakes and they don't linger in his mind for long, not wanting only that to be broadcasted about him is only understandable.
걱정하실 것 같은데 걱정해서 좀 더 민망했어요. 아니 그러니까 너무 걱정하세요. 저 딴 생각도 안 하고 쓸데없는 생각도 안 하니까 그런 생각 안 하셔도 돼요. 저도 뭐 커가고 있지 않습니까? 너무 걱정하지 마시고.
Also worth mentioning is that Jimin suffers from chronic neck and back pain, as seen in one of the BTS documentaries. He also has chronic pain in his knee that flares up once in a while, which is hard to believe because Jimin does a great job as a main dancer and lead vocal, flipping, jumping, carrying the hard choreo all while singing. With his talent, standing out and being the center of attention comes naturally to Jimin throughout his career. He has unintentionally made several killing parts in BTS songs and has had popular stages, such as 2014 iconic Mama Stage, 2015, the one with the orange hair. The 333 guy, the 424 guy. There is no surprise why a lot of critics anticipate his solo stages at award ceremonies every year. More on Jimin's beginnings and more detailed information about his dance you can find in these videos. Jimin is known for his beautiful honey-smooth vocals and his ability to make you feel every emotion and feeling that he is trying to convey, as well as his ability to sing high notes and falsettos effortlessly.
See that part right there when he would do his hands that and it went right along with it. That was an extra that was phenomenal.
And here we are live.
Who grabbed hold of his hand? V.
Oh, I love this one.
Oh, that was so nice too. V and him together, you know, the offset. That song.
It's
뭐
beautiful.
태영이나 정국이가 보컬 레슨을 받을 때 저 들어가서 구경해도 돼요 하면서 들어가서 참관을 하거나 그때 들었던 거를 혼자 새벽에 나와서 연습하고 있습니다.
Because Jimin didn't get any vocal lessons while he was a trainee and practiced on his own. His first real voice practice was for B-side track in their debut album. Even in the very beginning, when he had little to none vocal training, he was assigned to sing most of the high notes and he did it flawlessly.
That is iconic. That note. This performance.
Wow.
As much as we love his high vocal tone, we also love his lower register and
Oh, yeah, we do.
That, I love that song.
Yeah.
Iconic.
Yeah.
How can you not dance, you know?
memorable mention to this Jimin who has to sing with a smooth and stable voice after a full-on choreo.
Yeah.
Kim Youngdi, who is a music critic and a member of Korean Music Awards Committee, has said that when BTS is regarded as a sound, Jimin's voice is one of the most important auditory elements that make up the fingerprint and
Wow.
impression of the sound.
항상 키의 상승에 가장 결정적인 역할을 사실 지민 씨의 그런 음역이 아니면 저희 노래가 살지 않을 거예요. 좋은 자극제. 지민이 곡도 너무 좋아서 멋진 곡 만들고 싶다 많이 듭니다.
이 같은 경우도 그런 목소리 톤을 가지고 있는 가수가 잘 없거든요. 네, 그 점에서 굉장히 매력이 있다고 생각을 해요.
제가 생각할 때 이번 매브 무더 소울 7이 만약에 게임이라고 가정을 한다면 슈퍼 하드 캐리를 건 지민의 목소리라고 생각을 합니다. 이번 앨범 속에 필터라는 노래와 프렌드라는 노래의 지민의 목소리는 시작부터 듣는 사람을 완벽하게 집중하게 시켜주는 힘이 실려 있습니다. 생각이 들어서이기도 합니다. 혹은 유명 아티스트의 음악에 피처링을 했을 때도 굉장한 작품이 나올 수 있는 그런 아티스트가 또 지민이라는 생각이 들었기 때문입니다. 이렇게 유명해지고 그런 이제 유니크한 보이스를 갖고 있는 만큼 세계 시장에서 러브콜을 받을 가능성이 굉장히 많다. 저는 이렇게도 생각을 하고 있습니다. 충분히 가능성이 있는 얘기예요.
킬링 파트라고 생각을 하는데 이거를 지민 씨가 불러서 저는 훨씬 더 이게 올라갔다고 생각해요. 그 부분이 이제 분위기가. 왜냐면은 지민 씨 음색이 예술이잖아요.
그렇죠. 잘 어울리고요. 킬링 파트가 진짜 이 상업 대중 상업 음악의 아주 꽃이에요, 사실.
택시 그 지민의 보이스가
Unisex.
유니크하고 유니섹스한 보이스잖아요. 정말.
Can I say he makes this whole song. His voice, I think, is so incredible. He's got that high Michael Jackson sound and just incredible. But he just has that light lyric tenor is what we call it. Just super. It's almost like this frosting on top of the layers of a layer cake, and it's just stunning. It's just a really unique voice. I've been teaching voice for almost 30 years, and it's pretty rare to have those guys with these beautifully light voices.
I think that's really good singing. I think it's super healthy singing. It's repeatable. Everything I've heard from him is great. I stand this guy now.
All this.
Holy shit! He's like the Korean version of Michael fucking Jackson. Listen to those clear vocals. Oh.
하나만 좀 뽑을 수 있을까요?
저는 BTS 중에서도 그 지민 친구가 노래의 음색 극대란 부분이 있고 가사를 어떻게 불렀을 때 대중들이 공감을 할 수 있는지에 대한 포인트를 굉장히 잘 알고 있는 그 센스가 조금 남다른 친구라고 생각이 들고 카메라를 보는 시선이나 춤이나 노래에 있어서도 어떤 호흡 조절을 할 때 좀 대중들이 봤을 때 열광하는 포인트를 좀 잘 알고
It's true about him being able to control his voice. Well, let's just put it this way. When BTS, didn't at one time they came out, they were talking and they were saying that they would have to be on a treadmill as they're singing to help control.
And I think that's actually pretty common in K-pop.
Probably.
Because they all have choreo that would make it hard to sing if you didn't have
breathe. What are you talking about?
Exactly. If they didn't have the breath control and the stamina.
Yeah.
And you don't really hear them as they're singing.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty standard, but BTS excels at it.
Oh my gosh, every one of the guys.
Exactly. Every one of them's really good at
the breath control and the dancing and you never see how hard they're working until
if you see it behind the
scenes you do after the song is ended.
Yeah.
Because they move from one song to the next song as effortlessly as it can be.
The concert in Busan is classic example of they went from mic drop right into Run BTS, and those were two incredible choreos, and they sound great.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
And then they did 0 o'clock and went right into Butterfly. Now they weren't dancing during either one, but It's still
But
a
you
lot.
still did not hear them gasping for air.
No, not at all. And what they do has to be so tiring, you know. But
I'm sure they lose pounds after a show.
Yeah, I would think so. But it is amazing. But the thing about Jimin's voice is obviously it's very unique, but his voice like pierces through the mix. There's something about his voice that like just comes forward when you hear them sing. You can always pick him out, not just for his tone, but it just pierces straight through the mix. Even when he's singing soft and light and airy, it'll come straight through. And I guess it's the tone that does that. But it's rather amazing. If you pay attention in the songs, like especially when they're live, you'll be like, oh, boom, you know, it just comes forward at you. It's interesting. This is very cool to see all these people
talking about his tone and everything.
Incredible people.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. People covering their stuff,
I bet you they don't want to do Jimin's.
Yeah.
As of now, these are Jimin's official music credits by Korea Music Copyright Association. Outside of this association, BMI has also credited Jimin as a songwriter and a composer of Dream Glow, the song that was actually planned to be a Jimin solo song. But there are also a lot of instances where Jimin isn't officially credited, like for the melody of Blood, Sweat and Tears.
지민이는 목소리가 되게 좋아요. 매력적이죠. 지민이도 멜로디 잘 씁니다. 그러니까 뒷담에서 그 멜로디 짜는 거 좋아요.
Outside of official credits, Jimin's actual first song that he wrote was Christmas Day. The original song was Mistletoe by Justin Bieber. Jimin wrote new Korean lyrics and recorded the new Korean version together as a duet with JK.
I did not know that. Did you?
I didn't either.
He also collaborated with singer Love in a song Who.
Oh, that. I love that song. I love this song.
Jimin and JK have also covered Charlie Puth's We Don't Talk Anymore.
I didn't know that either.
BTS members were included in the production. Jimin took on the role of music project manager.
내가 지금 필요로서 할 수 있는 일이 멤버들이 어떻게 작업을 하고 싶은지, 어떤 내용으로 하고 싶은지, 몇 곡을 하고 싶은지, 어떤 스타일의 곡을 하고 싶은지, 구성은 어떻게 하고 싶은지, 어떤 멤버가 잘 어울릴 것 같은지, 이런 내용들을 정리해서 회사랑 이렇게 커뮤니케이션을 하면 될 것 같아요.
I do also want to talk about Jimin's solo songs under BTS, and the power that Jimin's voice and pen game can do. Keep in mind the impact and achievements I'm about to mention don't even scratch the surface. Under the group's name, Jimin's first solo song Live, in which Jimin was credited as a songwriter and a composer, at the time was the only solo song from Wing's album to rank on Nkigeo chart. It was highest ranking solo song on Melon Music chart. It was also the only solo song and B-side that charted Spotify Global Viral 50. Also, Blood, Sweat and Tears ranked #1 on World Digital Song Sales chart. Lie ranked #3 and became the best-selling solo song in Wing's album.
It's a masterpiece. That song's a masterpiece. Musically.
Oh, the dance. I love the dance.
Oh, yeah. The whole thing's a masterpiece, but it goes from minor to major, and it just blows your mind.
Released in 2 parts, intro and full. This song, while also being a successful solo song, has had the wonderful ability to calm crying babies. Filter was
Army.
Jimin's third
Army in the
solo song
making.
under BTS name, as stated by RM. Even though there are no credits, Jimin did participate in the song's writing. Right now, Filter is breaking records as the fastest Korean B-side and Korean solo song to reach certain streaming numbers on Spotify. Filter also was featured in Spotify's Rap Top K-Pop Tracks playlist for the third year in a row. Filter is also the first BTS solo song to be nominated for the Song of the Year at the Gaon Music Award.
Wow.
From the same album as Filter, the song Friends was a unit song Jimin sang with V of BTS. This song was written, composed, and produced by Jimin as it was meant to be a solo song first. With a touch of Jimin's magical hands, this was the only song produced by a BTS member to be nominated for Song of the Year at Gaon Award.
Wow.
This
Wow.
made Jimin the only BTS member to have 2 songs nominated for this award in 2020. With this song, Jimin was the first individual Korean idol to be credited for a Korean OST in a global Hollywood movie, as the song Friends was chosen as one of
Oh, that's good.
in the Marvel movie Eternals.
Mm-hmm.
And the song that he produced and all of his solo songs are in the Rolling Stone list of the 100 best BTS songs. Promise was the first gift from Jimin to the fans. A surprise drop uploaded on SoundCloud broke the first 24-hour release record with 8.5 million streams, breaking at the time Drake's 24-hour record. As of right now, Promise is in the Guinness World Record book as the most streamed song in
Wow.
SoundCloud history,
Yeah.
and in the first 24 hours. Christmas Love was another gift for the fans released on SoundCloud and YouTube. This song holds the record for the most streamed Korean solo song audio in the first 24 hours since its release on YouTube with 9.6 million streams.
Wow.
The Korean media ate this right up, because right after its release it was already being featured as a background sound in news and a lot of shows. In 2022 we officially got soloist Jimin with a song under his own name, in collaboration with his best friend Hasan Woon. They sang the main
Our
opening
Blues.
for K-drama Our Blues. With You broke the record for the fastest song in history to reach number 1 in 100 countries on iTunes. Jimin did it in only 4 hours, breaking the previous record held by Dynamite. With You was
Wow.
also nominated in 3 major Korean award shows in the Best OST category. It was also nominated for Song of the Year at the 2020
It should have
K-pop
won.
Awards. With You was
I'm
the
sorry.
10th most streamed K-pop song globally on Spotify, and the 2nd on Spotify South Korea. This made Jimin the 7th most
Oh my
streamed K-pop
God.
male
Wow.
solo artist globally.
Wow,
with only
wow.
one song and with the shortest streaming period.
감성적이긴 한 것 같아요. 저 주변에 다정한 사람이 있어요. 지민이라는 친구가 진짜 다정한데 보면서 좀 배워요. 막 배우게 되더라고요.
Right before Jimin's official solo debut in 2023, we got his second collaboration, this time with the K-pop group's Big Bang member Taeyong. The song Vibe was highly anticipated. Fans and the general public in Korea were talking about it. So even before it came out, it managed to have the highest debut on the Billboard Hot Trending Songs Daily and Weekly chart. Jimin also participated in co-composing this song, which gave the song that much more of a good life. Vibe debuted on the Billboard Hot 100 at 76. This was Jimin's and Taeyong's first time debuting on this chart under their own names. This was also Jimin's first time debuting on this chart as a composer. Vibe was also the highest debut on Melon Daily chart by a BTS member since the chart reform.
그래서 진짜 바이브라는 그 테마와 너무 잘 맞게 어떻게 보면은 저랑 굉장히 비슷한 생각들을 하고 또 굉장히 비슷한 별이 많다라는 걸 제가 이렇게 느낀 것 같아요. 저보다도 훨씬 더 열정적이고 그리고 그 열정을 보면서 저도 자극을 너무 많이 받았어요. 그래서 이번 작업을 같이 하면서 제가 사실 배운 게 너무 많습니다. 오랜만에 이런 걸 본 것 같아서 너무 네, 좋았던 것 같아요.
네, BTS가 지난 연도 단체 활동 중단을 선언한 이후로 K-팝 시장에 약간 주춤하는 것 같은 그런 느낌이 들고 있습니다. 이번에 BTS 출신 지민의 솔로 활동으로도 K-팝의 인기 명맥이 유지가 될 것 같습니까?
네, 지난주까지 이제 BTS의 활동이 주춤하다, 그리고 또 K-팝은 어떻게 될 것인가, 이런 우려 목소리가 좀 높아지고 있죠. 평생 그 미소년의 그룹으로 평생 남을 수가 있는 건 아니기 때문에 그렇죠.
네.
만약에 이번 솔로 발표를 하는 지민이 큰 성공을 거두게 된다면 아마 지민 개인의 영예를 넘어서서 K-팝의 새로운 모델 가능성에 대한 평가도 될 것 같아서 다시 한번 K-팝을 주목하게 되는 그런 계기가 되지 않을까 싶습니다.
At the end of March 2023, we also got the long-awaited Jimin solo EP phase, where Jimin was heavily involved in the production, and of course the overall vision. Jimin was credited as a writer on 5 of the 6 tracks and the hidden track. He also had guitar and keyboard credits on 2 songs. And just
Wow,
like
I
any
did
other
not know
Jimin
that.
music, this album performed extremely well. The pre-release single Set Me Free Part 2 was the fastest solo song to reach 100 number ones on iTunes worldwide. It also set the record as the biggest 2023 solo song debut by a K-pop act on Melon. It also had the highest debut for a Korean solo song on Spotify Global as well as US,
Spotify.
UK, and Korean in history. After 10 years, this was also the highest debut song by a K-soloist on the UK Big Top 40 chart. This song also had a major success in Japan as Jimin became the first Korean soloist row reach number 1 on both weekly and daily Oricon singles chart. No other Korean soloist has achieved this since this chart was first established in 1968. Set Me Free also debuted at number 30 on Billboard's Hot 100 chart. He joined Psy as the only Korean soloist to chart a solo song within the top 30. Set Me Free also debuted number 5 and number 8 on Billboard's Global excluding US chart and Global 200 chart. Set Me Free also debuted number 1 on Digital Songs sales chart with the biggest debut sales week of 2023. After Set Me Free, finally the main track Like Crazy was released. This song broke the record for the biggest debut for a solo song by a K-pop act in Spotify global history. It was also the highest charting song by a K-pop soloist in Spotify US history. Like Crazy also entered the top 5 Spotify US chart, the first and only K-pop soloist in the chart's history to do this. Jimin was also the only Korean soloist in history, with 2 entries debuting inside the top 10 of the UK Big Top 40, both at 4th place. Jimin also made history when he was the first Korean soloist and second Asian soloist to chart number 1 on Spotify's global song chart. He joined groups BTS and Blackpink as the only Koreans to do it. Jimin also made history when Like Crazy debuted on the Billboard Hot 100 chart at number 1. He was the very first Asian soloist to debut straight at number 1. Like Crazy also debuted number 2 on Billboard's Global 200 chart. Overall, all of the album songs debuted on Spotify Global. Jimin was the first K-pop soloist to ever chart multiple songs in the top 10 of Spotify Global daily chart simultaneously. All of the album songs also debuted on the Billboard 200 chart. Rolling Stone, Billboard, and Consequence also named Like Crazy as one of the best songs released in 2023 so far.
Oh, it was so
Faced
good.
by
It
Jimin
is so
highest
good.
sales debut for a Korean album by a soloist in Japan's history on the weekly album chart with 225k copies sold. Jimin's album also had the biggest debut by a K-pop act on the Spotify global charts in 2023. With Face album, Jimin also became the first solo artist to reach 1 million first-day album sales on Hanteo chart because of the platform trying to manipulate Jimin's sales. He is actually the first artist to reach 1 million first-day sales 3 times in the first release day. Congrats, King. After this, Hybe's 2023 first quarter operating profit increased by 41.5% to 52.5 billion won. Jimin was highlighted as one of the biggest contributors. Face by Jimin was also the best-selling album by soloist in history on Circle album chart with 1.35 million sales. Jimin became the fastest million-seller act as a soloist. Jimin also got the Conca album certification on the Circle chart for selling million and platinum album. Face also debuted number 2 on the Billboard 200 chart with 164,000 units sold. This is the biggest debut and highest charting album by a Korean soloist in the chart's
Wow.
history. Jimin also received the Melon Hall of Fame Millions album plaque by having almost 3 million streams in the first 24 hours.
First
Melon.
24
Jimin is also
hours.
the only Korean soloist to have 4 solo songs with over 500k units sold in the US. All of these songs are now eligible for gold certification. Jimin is also always in the top 10
Gold.
of Spotify Daily
Gold
South
cer-
Korean
oh,
chart with
wow.
multiple songs, which is really amazing because Koreans tend to only love girl groups. And now Jimin. Jimin is the first K soloist in history to reach number 1 on the Billboard Artist 100 chart. He is also the K soloist to spend the longest on Spotify's Daily Top Artists global chart. Jimin also broke the record for the biggest streaming year by a K-pop soloist in Spotify history with 1 billion streams. He did
In
it
the
only
first
6 months.
6
Jimin is
months.
the fastest K-pop soloist to surpass 1.6 billion streams on Spotify Pearly with his solo credit. A new record in the Guinness World Record book. With his solo songs under the BTS name, he already has 2.8 billion streams under his belt. And right now, Face is already the most streamed album by a Korean artist. To know more about Jimin's ideas and theory behind Face, you can watch this video. And Jimin's new docu-series.
I think that, well, you heard what they said about Koreans only liking the girl groups.
Right.
How could you not like Jimin?
Well, a lot of people, it's surprising to us, but K-pop is not highly rated as far as what they listen to. They listen to rock and a lot of indie, you know, and soloists and stuff, but it doesn't rank as high over there as it's starting to around the world. But we're just finding it, so to speak, compared to they've had it for years and years, I guess.
Yes,
But,
yes.
Yeah, so I don't think they look at it in the same way, but obviously. I mean, how can you not? Especially when they're doing OSTs and stuff for shows.
Oh, I know. Oh, that
you know?
Our Blues
Right.
was
that song With You is just
it's gorgeous.
It is. It's just absolutely gorgeous.
And it fits with the movie or the series.
The show. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm floored away. I'm absolutely floored on some of this stuff. I didn't even realize about, but I knew he was high charting, and I knew about the Spotify because we helped do that.
Yes,
I mean,
yeah.
you know, and but the rest of it, I never realized. He's got what, a couple of Guinness World Records, which I find totally amazing.
Yeah, Promises, just amazing that
On this
went
topic.
that far.
After the great success of his solo album, Jimin was chosen by Universal Studios as one of the artists featured on a soundtrack for the movie Fast and Furious 10.
Oh, that
he
was
was a part of the
amazing.
main Ost Angel Part 1,
Yeah.
which makes him the only Korean soloist to have 2 Osts featured in Hollywood movies. This song debuted number 65 on the Billboard 100 chart, which now makes Jimin the fastest Asian artist to have 4 songs on this chart, only in 4 months. Jimin also set the record as the first and only Korean soloist to have 2 songs chart multiple weeks on the Billboard Hot 100 chart in the last decade. He also had the most entries by a Korean soloist on the UK single and download charts. Just think about it. Jimin is surpassing other soloists and groups in Korea and internationally without the industry's help. Now how far would he succeed with the help of radio, playlisting, and good promo? Not to mention the shady tactics that YouTube, Spotify, Billboard, and Korean charts pull to slow him down. It's definitely really valuable for other artists to see Jimin succeeding as an Asian artist in the Western music market without selling his soul to the industry just be relevant only on payola. I'm a singer, but I'm also a listener, and I receive positive energy and comfort from music. Just like other artists, music has affected how I think and given me strength. I hope people can feel what I feel and resonate with my music. That's what drives me to keep making music.
사실 뭐 노래나 앨범 만들 때 가장 중요한 게 뭐냐고 하면은 즐거운 게 가장 좋은 건데 사실 뭐 이번이 처음이잖아요 여러분들. 그래서 기대해 주시는 건 좋지만 더 그러니까 여기서 안 겹치고 더
These guys make bucket hats.
I know.
Looks so nice.
많이 부족할 거예요. 근데
You just wouldn't think.
A
bucket hat.
이제 팀원들이랑 좀 이런저런 곡들도 만들어 보고 또 외부 작곡가도 만나서 만들어 보고 여러 가지 시도와 도전을 계속 해보고 있는 중이고요. 조금 계속해서 조금 구체적으로 다가가려고 노력하고 있는 중인 것 같아요. 그래서 뭔가 그동안 뭘 하고 있었고 했는지 저도 빨리 여러분들한테 보여드리고 싶은데 잘 아무것도 안 하고 가만히 있겠습니까? 일 안 하면 이 힘든 성격을 가진 제가
As you can see, Jimin is interested in making music, is really invested in its creation process, and we can definitely see that everything he touches turns into gold. His first EP, Jimin experimented with different genres and explored his skill. With this, he showed that he has the range as an artist to have a long and successful career. More about Jimin as the lead vocalist of BTS, and everything about and around Jimin's involvement in music in these videos.
The next one is
Yes, a wonderful guy. Prince Jimin.
how did you get it right?
I don't know who he is. Everybody has to know his name.
Jimin is the first and only Korean to receive 3 national honors. They are James Van Fleet Award, Presidential Award for Popular Culture, and Arts category. Both honors were received with the rest of BTS members. The 3rd award is the Plaque of Appreciation from the Kim Beek-bong Fan Dance Preservation Society of Intangible Cultural Heritage for his Mama 2018 fan dance stage. Also with the rest of the BTS members, he now is a presidential envoy. And at the start of 2022, Jimin also received an honorary diploma from the Busan High School of Arts.
Wow.
In Korea, there are a couple of official rankings stating idols or celebrities' overall impact and brand power, such as Brand Reputation ranking, in which Jimin has a record of being number 1 for 35 consecutive months. Jimin also tends to bring up the BTS positivity ratio in the Group Reputation ranking. There is also a Gallup ranking for idols. In 2018, Jimin became the first male idol to ever take first place in the Gallup ranking. Jimin also topped the ranking for the preferred Korean idols in 2019. Because of jealous individuals, Gallup decided to stop this particular idol ranking. Thus, Jimin became the first and last idol in history to occupy first place for 2 consecutive years.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Armed with unique vocals, unrivaled choreography, and a performance that astonishes everyone, Jimin also serves as a fashion icon. The fashion king Jimin seems to be grabbing attention from various people and brands in fashion. In 2019, when St. Laurent couldn't reach Big Hit, they contacted a Jimin fan site to ask permission to post one of his photos at their headquarters in Paris and Asia. When the news was out that BTS will be walking the LV fashion show and a teaser was released, LV Men's artistic director Virgil Abloh shared a video of Jimin from the said teaser. Input Mag mentioned Jimin's opening look, saying that Jimin, widely considered the most fashionable of the band members, opens the show in a light marbled suit and gold sunglasses. He was also mentioned by Vogue, claiming that those engraved wraparound logo shades never looked as cool as they do on Jimin.
Yeah.
After the show, Jimin got a new nickname, LV's frontman. Jimin is the only member of BTS and the second male idol ever to be a part of Business of Fashion, where those who are global icons that shape the global fashion industry only get to be a part of. At the start of 2023, we also got Jimin's W Korea issue with a total of 6 covers, the highest the magazine has ever done. Also, W Korea magazine went out of their usual way of only selling the magazines on Korean platforms. This time, they officially released it through their Amazon and eBay profiles for international fans. And they clearly knew what they were doing. Right after the announcement, the pre-sale on every platform was sold out, and all of the magazine covers were in the real-time, daily, weekly, and monthly best-selling lists. And just counting 2 Korean platforms, this one magazine issue surpassed over 1 million sales index, the first time in W Korea's 17-year-old history. Not to mention that this was a sponsored photo shoot by Dior, the same Dior that actually pitched the idea of Jimin to Business of Fashion back in 2019. I bet a lot of brands were really happy about the group's decision to finally allow the members' solo activity. That's why as soon as BTS released their plans to focus more on solo projects, Dior was the first to snatch Jimin up. Looks like Versace, Valentino, Marc Jacobs, and Givenchy were a tad bit too late. Hopefully Donatella isn't experiencing that big of a heartbreak. It's nice that she is still liking Jimin's posts on Dior's Instagram even though she isn't even following them. Dior is certainly happy. Jimin is their first Asian male to ever be Dior's global brand ambassador. Following the news about this partnership, Dior's stock price peaked at the highest they have ever been in Dior's entire history of 31 years of being on the stock market.
Yep.
The news about Jimin being their global ambassador also was discussed all over the financial media. Jimin was also the name on everyone's lips in this year's Paris Fashion Week. When attending Dior's show, Jimin drew in the largest crowd that Dior has ever seen and also the largest crowd that the Fashion Week as a whole has ever seen. After Jimin's appearance at this event, Dior's earned media value rose by 370%,
Wow.
twice as much as Dior's closest competitor Yves Saint Laurent. Another brand who managed to snatch Jimin up was Tiffany & Co. In March, they announced Jimin as their new global house ambassador, naming Jimin as a pop icon representing the 21st century. Not to mention that this it boy is so sought after that his one photo shoot with Dior was then used not only for the cover of W Korea, but also Da Man Indonesia, Esquire Taiwan, Elle Hong Kong, and Elle Vietnam, Bazaar Men Thailand, El Oficio Homes Malaysia, and Singapore.
Wow.
Not to mention Jimin's Vogue Korea covers and AERA Japan covers were also immediately the best sellers on all official sites. A fine example why Jimin stays number 1 in the brand reputation ranking. Jimin's impact continues with his power to sell out anything he is associated with. Some of the things include various magazines with Jimin's front cover, clothes, jewelry and accessories, merchandise, food and drinks. Jimin has also been a muse for various artists. One of them is a Korean artist, Lee K. He even has a highlight on his Instagram dedicated
we've
to
seen
Jimin's
that.
paintings. In 2022, Jimin's painting by Lee K was even displayed at exhibition at the Carousel du Louvre, and it attracted more than 10,000 visitors.
Wow.
There have also been people from the movie industry interested in Jimin. One of them is an American film director, producer, and photographer Gus Van Sant. In an interview, he has expressed his interest in working with Jimin, saying that Jimin is a person that has that kind of peaceful thing about them that I like. Even a famous Korean actor, Kim Kap-soo, made a Weverse fan account so he could write a message to Jimin. Writing, Jimina, do you remember me? We greeted each other at the restaurant when you were with your mother. It's embarrassing, but I'm in Army too. I registered today. Always stay healthy.
Oh, that's so
And
cute.
most recently, Jimin was name dropped in relation to the new Barbie movie. Ryan Gosling, or Ken, gave Jimin a guitar as a gift because he stole one of Jimin's looks, and that is not a real Ken thing to do. Even when Jimin is out of the public eye, Hollywood still manages to mention him.
Oh, wow.
The media also like to refer to Jimin as a front. This comes from Jimin's brand power, and the fact that, even if you don't know about K-pop, you probably have heard about Jimin.
혹시 그럼 좋아하는 멤버가 있어요? 개인적으로?
저요?
네. 너무 좋아하시는데?
지민?
왜 좋아하세요?
귀여운 것 같아요.
지민. 지민이요.
귀여워요?
지민이요. 지민 초록선 못 봤냐?
이거
아니야.
지민이요?
춤을 너무 잘 춰서 저 남자인데 반해버렸어요.
세렌디피티라는 그 곡에 공부할 때 춤이랑 노래도 잘 부르고 피땀 눈물 뮤비 첫 장면에서 노래를 딱 시작하는 그 목소리의 피자가 너무 섹시했어. 뭔가 귀여워서.
His eye is like a cat. Not, ah.
매력을 가지고 있어서 그냥 노래 들을 때마다 되게 좋아요.
아, 멤버 있어요?
이름을 잘 모르겠어요. 제가 아이돌에 관심이 잘 없어서. 아, 지민이 이제
지민 B.
김남준, 네, 슈가, 지민 B, 잘 모르는 것 같아요.
네,
그
지민 B.
랩몬스터.
한 명밖에 모르는 것 같아요. 지민? 중에서 누가 제일 잘생긴 것 같아요?
지민?
지민.
네.
지민 왜 뽑으셨나요?
아는 사람 얼굴이 그 지민밖에 없어요.
그 개인적으로 좋아하지는 않는데 따로 근데 그 중에서도 지민이 좀 잘생긴 것 같아요. 너? 네, 네, 지민.
What would you say is the best thing about the country?
Jimin from K-pop. Jimin from BTS, sorry.
What's his name? Jimin.
Jimin from BTS.
People know these celebrities.
Yes, I work for
They all came dressed up for their concert.
And I work for Billboard, and they all came to our office.
Wow! He has such a great personality. Jimin? Yeah, for sure. He's like a character. I love his style. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
여자분들이 이 멤버를 정말 사랑합니다. 우리 지민 씨. 정말 폭발적이에요. 외국 여자분들도 막 너무 귀엽다고 난리가 나는 멤버인데 실제로도 그렇게 귀엽나요? 처음에 그 뭐랄까 애교살이 많아요. 그래서 저도 이제 여자친구랑 주변 분들한테 물어보고 지금 제가 일하는 분이나 과장님들도 자기가 이제 가장 먼저 좋아하는 지민이라고 먼저 좋아하게 돼서 방송을 좋아하고 그 다음에 다른 멤버들한테도 이제 또 말하는 약간 이런 목표를 하고 계시더라고요.
Yep.
정말 그 많은 사랑을 받고 싶더라고요.
만 치고 한 거 알아봤을까? 6만 원 치고 알아봤어요. 진짜? 네. 대박이죠. 그래? 아까 그 소리가 지민이 너야? 근데 아미 여러분들은 저희 눈만 봐도 바로 알아봐요. 아니 그걸 나도 기자님인 줄 알았을걸?
Some examples to back up his titles can be when Global Big Data Research Institute ranked the then latest mobile models of 3 companies, and the Samsung Galaxy S20 had ranked number 1 on the survey. With the latest release,
My God, who wouldn't want to buy it after that?
Please. We both have Samsungs.
I know.
Seems to have had a big impact. Jimin has also increased the world interest toward tteokbokki after his visit to a local tteokbokki street stall, with sales increasing by 25% instantly. Jimin was mentioned in a report that talked about a tteokbokki brand selling out, and the boom of Korea's processed rice export. The same thing happened with a ramen brand. Media reported that Jimin boosted the sales of Samyang ramen by 158% in the US and 33% in China, also proving his strong marketing power. Vice Chairman Kim Young-soo of Samyang Food has already thanked Jimin for greatly affecting the sales of spicy chicken ramen on SBS.
Yeah, absolutely.
Saying, Jimin uploaded footage of himself eating our buldak ramen, which thanks to him is seeing great commercial impact. Samyang Food also sent presents to BTS members. Jimin's ribbon said, "Thanks to Jimin, we've built a new factory in Moyang." Jimin was also mentioned in talk show Free 19 when discussing the worldwide spread of the UJ tea, saying, UJ tea became a hot topic across the world after Jimin posted about it, generating an 100% interest on Google Trends.
유자라고 쓰여진 제품을 인증사진을 업로드하는 등 BTS 지민 씨의 소소한 일상이 뮤지컬이 유자를 유명해지게 하며 큰 영향력을 발휘했다고 합니다.
And not only did Jimin top the Billboard Hot 100 as the first Korean soloist in history, he also once again helped a whole industry. News reported that the stock price of the entertainment industry rose following news of BTS Jimin topping Billboard Hot 100 for the first time as a K-Soul.
Wow.
The media reported that not only Jimin raised HYBE shares up to 23.6% that month, but his influence also had the ripple effect of other major entertainment companies. SM saw a 13.2% rise,
Wow.
11.3%, and JYP 9.8%. The 2021 Big Data Utilization Hallyu Market Research Report published by the Korean Foundation for International and Cultural...
You know, I could kind of understand that. I didn't realize it at the time.
Right.
We knew that HYBE's shares went up.
Right.
But we never realized that the rest of the companies,
I didn't know that.
You know,
it
did.
Makes sense though, because they probably watched that and then they
thought, well,
who's
that?
And they start watching other K-pop groups because of it.
Right, and the interest of watching Korean.
Oh, the TV shows and stuff.
Absolutely,
sure.
Probably shot it, and they're all like, "Oh, who is this? And what is this?"
Yeah.
And so these
watching
guys,
the K-dramas and stuff. Yep.
They paved the way.
Yeah, they did for
everybody.
For Korea.
Yes.
South Korea.
Yes. For everybody in the Korean market.
Korean Foundation of International and Cultural
Exchange.
There you go. That's the power of Jimin and BTS. But he is their IT boy, their it boy. So
yes.
Exchange also showed Jimin's it boy impact as he was the most mentioned topic under K-pop, K-variety, and K-food. The size of the circle indicates the amount of mentions, while the connecting line shows keyword relational strength. As you can see in the K-pop image, Jimin is more often mentioned individually with K-pop, alone from his BTS status. Jimin has also been a hot topic amongst non-K-pop fans since the very beginning. If you didn't know K-pop, you probably heard about Jimin. That's why his name was on the trending topic even in 2014 when BTS were still rookies. All the commotion about Jimin could be best seen on Twitter. Even right from the very beginning in 2013, a lot of users were tweeting about Jimin being very popular and that he will most definitely have a bright career. A lot of them were already then wishing for a Jimin solo song.
I remember that.
Another thing we witnessed on Twitter was former South Korea's President Moon liking a Jimin Serendipity performance clip.
Yeah, trending. Jimin.
Yeah.
Every time BTS performed or attended any award shows, especially in America, who is he, would always be trending, and a lot of locals would be interested to get to know more about Jimin. Some of the examples could be BTS SNL performance, BTS American Music Awards red carpet appearance, or BTS performing on America's Got Talent. Even a lot of his fan cams from concerts of him looking beautiful go viral.
Well, yeah, we can see why.
Jimin is also the face of tourism. He contributes to the economy with his influence as a world-renowned artist. Jimin is drawing attention by being used to promote tourism in Busan and Seoul. Even his birthday projects help to boost the local economy, as all of the birthday projects are usually visited by large groups of people, and businesses around the events get revitalized. We all know that Jimin's birthday celebrations in the month of October are like a festival. A lot of local shops and cafes usually thank Jimin's fans for helping their business bloom at this time. Jimin's economic impact is also recognized by the cities themselves, allowing Jimin's dedicated fan bases to go through with projects that they wouldn't allow for others. One of Jimin's biggest celebration projects was a Jimin's themed airplane. The Jimin themed airplane was the first Idol's collaboration with Jeju Air to run a package consisting of the entire aircraft wrapping, flight ticket, and in-flight cup set for 3 months. And it looks like that for this year's BTS Festa, one of Big Hit's projects was also inspired by this specific Jimin fan base project. We also got to find out that LV frontman Jimin was the reason that BTS became LV's ambassadors. A hint, it was because of his sold-out brand power. On BTS off time, Jimin went to Jeju Islands. After posting a couple of pictures on his new personal Instagram profile, the tourism in places where he visited flourished. He even got his own photo zone, and you could receive gift vouchers if you took photos at this zone. Jeju also jumped from 19th to 2nd place on city brand reputation in Korea, just behind Seoul. Even almost a year later, there's still a huge queue of people that want to recreate Jimin's photos, as there now is an official Jimin tour on the island.
Huh. Oh, goodness.
Oh, that's cute.
It is.
Smart idea.
Yeah.
Remember he did a headstand, right?
Oh, yes. Oh. Look at this.
Similar thing happened when Jimin posted his individual video on BTS YouTube channel where he chose to make bracelets in his free time. After the video went live, the bracelet making shop posted on Instagram thanking fans for the big interest and support and for booking all of the available classes. Jimin's face of K-pop and BTS streak continues, with Korean news singling out Jimin's parts when reporting about BTS concerts, press conferences, or other news about the group. Sometimes it's even a little funny how desperate they look for any Jimin content, as they edit together Jimin's fan site filmed videos and official Hive footage just to show center Jimin or Jimin's part.
Oh, yeah.
Other rightful titles that Jimin has earned all throughout his career are Stage Commander and Stage Genius, Dance King, Rookie's Bible, and Idol of Idols. Jimin's solo performances are called the rite of passage, as many rookie and junior idols try to cover them, and Jimin is referred to as Rookies or Idol's Bible, as he is a great role model to them due to his personality, dance, stage presence, and other charms. Usually when covering Jimin's songs, idols do the dance and the singing part separately though, and you already know why.
Look at him studying it.
K-Media has also named Jimin as the standard of K-pop. Jimin is Korea's best idol in various ways, including his dancing skills, popularity, brand power, visuals, and singing ability. Therefore, many juniors want to follow in his steps and also become K-pop idols. For example, idols from the group TXT have mentioned Jimin as someone they take inspiration from when performing. With Taehyun saying, "Of all the performers I know, I think he's the pinnacle when it comes to that classical style of dance. What would Jimin do? How would he move his head around for this part? I practiced by painting a picture of that in my head." Hyuninkai mentioned Jimin's filtered performance. I was wondering how to be expressive for the performance and recently watched Jimin's filter concert performance. I got a lot of inspiration from that performance. Bong Ji-yu praised Jimin's dancing and energy singing. Jimin dances as if he's gonna break his bones. I want to express the same. Jay from the group in Hypen said in his reverse interview, "I want to dance as if it's a piece of cake even when I'm using every last drop of my energy that I could collapse." When dancing K-pop choreography, my role model is Jimin of BTS. In another reverse interview, Nikki from Hypen said, "I love the way Jimin dances, so I make it a point to study him very closely. I auditioned with his song Lie, so it was a huge honor to film a TikTok with him, just the two of us. He was so kind and nice. I enjoyed every second of it." New Kids Jinkwon has said, "I wanted to show a good performance, so I watched BTS performance. I watched Jimin's fan cams hundreds of times all night, thinking how can I do these expressions and details. Kaz is a professional ballerina and a member from the new Hybe girl group Lasirafin has mentioned that she auditioned for Hybe with the song Dynamite after seeing Jimin perform the song, which made her even more interested in performing. She has also mentioned to Teen Vogue, I only knew ballet before, but I got interested in K-pop especially because of Jimin from BTS, because he also majored in contemporary dance.
되게 많은데요. 저는 이제 방탄소년단 선배님이 지민 선배님이 네, 제가 또 무대에 너무 진심인데 지민 선배님 무대 하시는 거 보면 진짜 충격을 받거든요. 와 이렇게 무대를 할 수 있구나. 그래가지고 되게 닮고 싶은 부분 중 하나입니다.
I have a collaboration with BTS because I love their dance style. Especially I love Jimin's style. So
I guess they're from Gravity, the name of the group.
네네. 데뷔 전부터 BTS 선배님들을 굉장히 좋아했고 또 그 중에서 지민 선배님을 굉장히 좋아해서 연습생 때도 많이 영상을 보고 영감을 받고
Wow.
많이 배웠던 것 같아요.
I mean, we knew.
Yeah.
각도나 선 위주로 연습을 많이 했던 것 같습니다. 팬분들도 아시겠지만 제가 또 아미라서요. 지민 선배님을 정말 많이 좋아하고 정말 많이 카피를 하고 많이 연구를 했는데 아직 많이 부족하지만 진짜 멋있다. 나도 저런 아티스트가 되고 싶다라는 생각을 했던 것 같아요.
In fact, you could see Jimin's impact as the Stan attractor when YouTube allowed you to see the most played part of every video, with Jimin's parts being the majority in BTS videos. Fans went crazy when BTS finally performed their song Run BTS, and of course Jimin's dancing went viral during the concert. Then again after the dance rehearsal was released.
Oh, yeah. That was so good.
And later when other idols were doing the Run BTS challenge, you could see which idols were studying Jimin's dancing with this Jimin-fied head whip only he did at the concert and in the rehearsal video. That's what you call a father of K-pop. Jimin is also the king of fan cams. His Fake Love fan cam was the first K-pop idol fan cam to surpass 100 million views and a turning point for other fans to mass stream their idol's fan cam. Jimin also has 2 plaques of appreciation for his dance skills. One is the previously mentioned plaque for the 2018 MMA fan dance stage, which Impact is still being talked about. And the other is the MMA 2021 Best Main Dancer Award plaque.
오늘 시상하는 부문은 페이보릿 댄스 아티스트 남자 부문입니다. 그래서 여기에 오기 전에 가수분들의 무대 영상을 찾아보고 왔는데요. 춤선이 예쁘기로 소문난 BTS 지민 씨 보이고요.
Oh, he gets so embarrassed.
지민의 춤을 봤을 때 한마디로 이야기하자면은 자기만의 세상이 있다라고 이야기를 할 수 있겠습니다. 춤을 추면 사람이 돌변하죠. 그리고 사람을 끌어당기는 기질이 있어요. 어떤 안무를 춰도 본인의 춤으로 만들어서 지민화시켜서 춤을 추는 사람입니다. 춤에 있어서 자신의 영역이 확실한 스타일이죠. 지민만의 스타일이 딱 갖추어져 있기 때문에 어느 무대에 서던 간에 가장 돋보이는 댄서가 될 수 있을 겁니다. 지민이 추는 안무를 보시면 굉장히 섬세하고 세심하면서 파워풀하죠. 작은 디테일 하나하나를 다 살리는데 이게 본인이 막 살리려고 살리는 게 아니라 그냥 몸에 배어있는 것 같아요. 그냥 어떤 안무를 익히고 나서 그 안무를 추게 되면 자기 세상에 빠져서
This whole clip is kind of
모르고 추고 있다는
purple.
느낌입니다.
Isn't it? Yeah.
사람이 만들어낸 안무에 적절하게
I'm wondering, see, some of it has already got...
Yeah, well, whoever made this video has taken
yeah,
bits and pieces from other videos, so...
Yeah.
지민만이 출 수 있는 춤이라는 거죠. 모조품을 만들어낼 수 없는 하나의 예술작품 같은 스타일의 춤입니다.
She looks like she's contemporary dancer.
I think they are dancers. I think I've seen it.
I remember that one from Puma. It was the Puma commercial.
Yeah.
지민님이 떠르르 춤을 추는 걸 처음 보고 와, 저 사람 뭐지? 왜 이렇게 춤을 잘 추지라고 느꼈었던 기억이 나요.
이 영상 하면 일단 지민님이다. 약간 그런 타이틀?
아, 333 춤 알아?
알죠, 알죠.
Killing part.
I know. And that one too.
와, 난 저기가 제일 좋아.
They all were amazed at how when he went back and they came forward, it was amazing.
방탄소년단 쪽에서도 한번 온 건 아닌가. 네네네. 지민 씨 이런 분들이 춤을 굉장히 잘 추다면서요. 예예예. BTS 멤버. 이제 소수 의견 들어볼 텐데요. 기린님은 저분이 보통 계기가 아주 이게 연습한다고 되는 게 아니에요. 네. 그래서 요즘 가장 춤 하면은 떠오르는 아이돌이 제가 아는 유일한 member 지민이라고 하는 게 있어요.
Oh, iconic.
매력에 잘하신 것 같아요.
태민 남자애들 3명. 태민이 태민. 아, 태민이 춤 너무 잘했어.
Oh, Taemin.
정말. 카이. 와우. 근데 셋 다 친구야.
Oh, and there's Kai.
Yeah.
I'm a little emotional just now just watching because like for my particular style, like not a lot of artists take a chance on me because it's still very detailed. And a lot of it gets said, you know, it gets lost on stage in big arenas and stuff like that. I am super appreciative that I got to do this, and
That's,
for someone at his level
yeah.
to actually execute
Brian Puss
exactly
was.
what I had
Yeah.
in mind and do it in a way that might be even better than what I could have done. I will always be forever like grateful.
He did the
I
choreo
so
for
much work.
Serendipity.
The audience really, really well with where they want him to actually look or where he wants them to actually look. Beginner dancers very often just focus on how do I hit my move, how do I reach this thing in time, which makes sense. I think there's a lot of people who are versatile, but there's gimmicks. Yeah. You know, it's like I know I can pull out like an aerial real quick. Yeah. But no, Jimin's like got contemporary experience, modern experience, hip hop, popping. You can actually see all those integrated so well. He's clever with where he's breathing. He's clever with where to relax, where to look. Like these are actually very intentional choices that over time start becoming second nature. Yes.
Big Hit's performance director has said that.
Yeah.
Jimin has the characteristic of expressing very smooth and textured choreography, so even when he does hip-hop choreography, he exudes a little alluring charm. In BTS book Beyond the Story, 10-year record of BTS, it is mentioned that Jimin's inspirations from their American activities had a direct influence on BTS. As he attended the performances of various artists in America, he developed bigger artistic ambitions for BTS. I kept comparing their performances to ours. I began thinking our concert staging could be better, so we began asking more from our own concerts. I kept talking about the need to go beyond where we were, to change our repertoire and improve our sets and production. To learn more about Jimin's impact in every industry, whether it's food, fashion, music, or tourism related, and to know more about Jimin's dance skills power, watch many of these other videos. A lot of times after Jimin's V-Lives or some of the interviews, you will see Korean fans once again being amazed by Jimin's vocabulary, his choice of words, and sincerity behind them.
오늘도 고생하셨고 내일도 힘냈으면 좋겠고 실수했을 때 푹 쉬시고 이 안에서 여러분들 행복을 꼭 찾아왔으면 좋겠습니다.
A lot of Korean fans also point out that Jimin writes his sentences in a structure that is really easy to translate for international fans. He has also been praised by
I've read that before.
at various events.
Yeah.
One of them would be the annual Youth Day where Jimin delivered his speech without any script with elegance and sincerity. And most recent would be the speech that he presented at General Assembly.
안보에 대변하는 거였기 때문에 우리 이제 이 세대는 이제 어떻게 보면은 팬분들한테 듣고 받은 메시지를 이제 얘기하는 부분이었잖아요.
그래서 딱 카메라를 보고 딱 내가 명확하게 하고 싶었던 거죠.
딱 그래요.
Some fans also have noticed that in interviews he will mostly give really well detailed yet at the same time generalized answers about himself. He usually doesn't tell much, even though sometimes it could feel like. Any new information we get to know about him is mostly from people around him.
여러분들한테 보여준 거 빼고 다 못해. 지금 하고 있는 걸 더 잘하고 싶네요.
좋아하는 거.
Jimin's great upbringing also shows in his respectful mannerism. Ones that fans have frequently noticed are his good boy pose with hands at his side. Or this respectful hand gesture that is used in Korean culture.
잘 볼 수 있는
Yeah, it's like you put one hand here and you receive it with the other hand.
For performance, but also for his etiquette. One example is Korean citizens gushing about how Jimin uses elements of Korean etiquette even when he is abroad. When greeting people, you will always see him bow.
Oh, that is like a way 90-degree bow. But when he went down to his knees,
yeah, I know.
When BTS performed their song DNA for the Korean President Moon and the First Lady, there's a part where Jimin usually shows hearts, sweeps his hair back, or does something else fun for the audience. But this time he did a 90-degree bow, which once again allowed him to receive a big round of applause from the general Korean public.
Oh, I really want to see this.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
이 상황에서 지민 씨처럼 행동하는 게 절대로 쉬운 게 아닙니다. 왜냐면 지민 씨가 이렇게 초대받은 손님으로서 앉으려다가 자기보다 나이가 많은 사람 때문에 엉거주춤한 자세로 읽는다는 건 절대로 계산해서 나오는 행위가 아니기 때문에. 왜냐면 이런 상황들은 예측할 수 있는 게 아니기 때문에.
When BTS performed their song DNA for the Korean President Moon and the First Lady, there's a part where Jimin usually shows hearts, sweeps his hair back, or does something else fun for the audience. But this time he did a 90-degree bow, which once again allowed him to receive a big round of applause from the general Korean public.
She loved him. She loves them.
Yeah.
자, 여러분, 이 상황에서 지민 씨처럼 행동하는 게 절대로 쉬운 게 아닙니다. 왜냐면 지민 씨가 이렇게 초대받은 손님으로서 앉으려다가 자기보다 나이가 많은 사람 때문에 엉거주춤한 자세로 읽는다는 건 절대로 계산해서 나오는 행위가 아니기 때문에. 왜냐면 이런 상황들을 예측할 수 있는 게 아니기 때문에. 그리고
he was waiting for the elders
Oh,
to sit
yeah.
down and
봤을 때는 한마디로 몸에 배어서 자연스럽게 나오는 행동이라는 거죠.
Jimin, as sweet and caring as ever, always expresses his sincere gratitude to the fans. One of the many sweet things is Jimin hashtagging his tweets with "Our armies won an award again" whenever BTS receives an award at an award show. He also
that's
comes
true.
on Reverse Live more frequently to update fans about what he's doing and thanking them for their love and all of the achievements his solo songs are making. Jimin also frequently likes to remind the fans to stay warm and not to catch a cold whenever the weather gets a little colder, as well as always reminding fans to stay healthy and look after your body in a healthy way.
Oh, eat well too.
즐겁고 오늘 식사 잘 챙겨가시고 앉으셨던 분들 오늘 봐주셔서 오늘도 감사합니다. 다음 주에 또 올게요.
그런 거 있잖아요. 바이러스 그런 거 해주고 싶어요. 그러니까 뭔가 안 좋은 생각 너무 많이 하지 마시고 안 좋은 생각 너무 많이 하면 이게 끝도 없습니다. 저도 많이 해봤잖아요. 그래서 안 좋은 생각 많이 하면 어차피 이게 꼬리를 계속 물고 땅굴을 파게 돼요. 그러니까 생각 되게 좋은 생각 많이 하셨으면 좋겠고 제가 이렇게 한번 비추는 게 여러분들 모두에게 좋은 영향이 될 수는 없을 수도 있지만 조금이라도 힘이
no matter what the man says, his voice is so calming It's just a comforting, calming voice. No wonder he can stop babies from crying.
Absolutely.
You know?
I know. Well, you think about it, how many times have we watched a live not knowing what he is saying?
Oh, right. Oh.
But we're so mesmerized by him. And it doesn't matter what he's saying.
Yeah.
It's what it makes us feel.
Right. It's very calming, very comforting.
Yeah.
Always.
좋습니다. 여러분들한테 그러려고 오는 거니까요. 항상 행복하셨으면 좋겠고 아프지 말고 네, 힘들지 말고 항상 좋은 일만 가득하셨으면 좋겠습니다. 요즘 같은 상황이 네, 진심이고요. 아프지 말고 밥도 잘 챙겨 드시고 여러분 요즘에 또 면역력이 안 좋으면 또 막 코로나도 걸린다고 하니까 밥 잘 챙겨 먹고 항상 밥을 잘 드세요. 맛있게 잘 먹어야 돼요. 그래서 저도 먹으러 갈게요.
See, we don't even know what he said, but we giggled.
어제 제가 얘기해놨어가지고 뭐라고 밥 먹고 좀 잘 지내고 있어야 되지. 그러니까 건강하게 하지 말고.
다이어트 어떻게 했었냐고요? 다이어트는 여러분 하지 마세요. 근데 이게 다이어트라고 얘기하면 좀 그런 것 같아요. 이게 다이어트라고 얘기하면 이미 기분이 나빠. 그쵸? 우리 건강한 몸을 만들기. 건강한 몸 관리라고 하죠. 건강한 몸 관리는 여러분 하셔야 돼요. 근데 다이어트는 하지 마세요. 저희 또 운동해요. 그동안 밥도 잘 챙겨 드시고 여러분들도 가능하면은 운동도 좀 하시고 좀 뛰고 뛰는 것보다는 좀 빠른 걸음으로 걷는 게 좋고 계단 오르는 게 더 좋습니다. 내려가지 마세요.
조심해서 또 귀가하시고 귀가했다고 인도어스 인터뷰 남겨주시고요.
I remember that. Oh, and he said he'd read it.
타고 지금까지 지민이었습니다. 괜찮아요? 핫도그 잘 먹었어요?
안 좋은 생각 너무 많이 하면 이제 또 저도 많이 해봤잖아요. 안 좋은 생각 많이 하면 어차피 이렇게 꼬리를 계속 물고 땅굴을 파게 돼요. 친구들이랑 술 한잔하면서 얘기도 하고 또 멤버들이랑 또 술 한잔하면서 얘기하고 그러다가 느꼈던 거는 자기 얘기를 솔직하게 이렇게 얘기하면서 편하게 상대방과 친화될까 이런 생각을 했던 것 같아요. 상황이 힘들 수 있으나 내가 나를 힘들게 하지 말자. 내가 나를 욕하지 말자. 이런 생각이 들었어요.
It seems that he is also a supportive shoulder to lean on for his band members and even someone to look up to for the older members.
예를 들어서 우리가 지금 함께 하고 있지만 평생 같이 안 할 수도 있는 건데 그렇기 때문에 더 노력해야 되는 건데.
In an interview with Teen Vogue, RM mentioned Jimin saying, "I get free life lessons from J-Hope and Jimin. Sometimes it's like they're 10 years older than me." In another interview, he has also said, "Many people think that Suga is like the grandfather of the group, but he acts more like a little kid. Jimin is the opposite. He looks like a baby, but inside he's mature and like a grandfather." For BTS Festa, when members left each other compliments, J-Hope wrote, "You're like my little brother, but sometimes it feels as if you really are an older brother. For 7 years, I've been relying on you a lot, and I've gained so much strength from you." During an interview in Japan, J-Hope has also said, "Jimin likes being playful, but he also is a mature person who thinks a lot. Whenever the members gather after award shows or before activities and talk, the words Jimin says really have depth. Even though he is younger, I respect him a lot."
Member I need when relieving my stress. 스트레스해서 제일 풀고 싶을 때 필요한 멤버.
이거 약간 갈라질 수 있어요.
갈라질 수 잘 맞을 것 같아. 하나, 둘, 셋.
지민이죠, 지민이 힘들었는데 정말 지민이가 오자마자 웃음꽃이 제가 거의 뭐 웃음꽃이 살짝 피었습니다. 네. 정말 큰 힘이 됐고 도움이 됐고 진짜 모르겠어요. 정말 너무너무 고맙고 이 먼 길까지 와줘가지고.
He's getting embarrassed.
난 진짜 끝났어. 난 진짜 끝났어. 다른 사람도 그런 거
동생이지만 형 같은 그런 매력을 가지고 있는 친구예요. 한 것을 담을 수 있는 친구고.
Look at
him. 그큰 그릇만큼
Look at Sugar.
뭔가 많은 것을 수용을 할 수 있는 그런 친구인 것 같습니다. 사랑스러운 친구죠.
He has to do that because he's so embarrassed, doesn't know what to do with compliments.
When they start playing with their hair in the bag or their ears, yeah, they start, you know that they're.
데뷔 전부터 음료수도 잘 사주고 아이스크림도 잘 쏘고 형도 힘들 때는 잘 얘기해주고.
In his interview from BTS Fifth Army Camp, answering the question about being able to give anything to the members, he said, "I'd like to give a superpower. To every member the ability of freezing time, especially Namjoon. He tends to get pressure as the leader of the team. I'd like him to just freeze time for a minute and get himself comfortable."
Oh, that is so nice.
지가 평소에 하듯이 막 장난쳐주는데 그런 생각을 잊게 만들었어요. 그러니까 우리가 오늘은 진짜 팬이었어. 진짜 나 진짜 부탁했잖아. 진짜 누가 진짜 괜찮지 않나? 내가 나한테 말해주면 나 좀 많이 되는 거야. 잘했어. 손 떨지 마. 괜찮아. 잘했어. 나 진짜 멘탈도 팔이 떨려가지고. 비행기에 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 있는데 감히 나의 오늘 솔직히 거기서 1번 걸린 사람이 먼저 이렇게 뭐라고 일 거다 마지막 지민이가 친구도 남자 할거 아니 지민이 1등 진짜 웃기겠다. 지민이 1등 없을 때 지민이야 우리 제일 뽑게 해야 돼. 나 48분 안 돌리는 거 처음 3시간 걸립니다. 4시간 걸립니다. 48분만 좋아. 예전하고 시켜주면 아니야. 나 어차피 아니야 네가 고르는 거야 지민아. 자리가 정해진 게 아니라 네가 가서 2등으로 고르면 돼. 너 앉고 싶은데.
Oh, that was so sweet.
지민이가 어쨌든 너무 고마웠던 게 너무 그 가사 뭐만 쓰냐고 해서 이제 그럼 뭐 이건 내가 쓰게 됐다 그렇게 얘기를 하니까 그 지민이가 너무 이 가사가 너무 마음에 든다고 자기 얘기 같다고 너무 마음에 든다고 해서 그걸 여러 번 얘기를 해줬어요. 끝날 때까지 그 녹음하고 나서 그래서 형 나는 이 곡이 가사가 너무 좋다.
Wonder which one
얘기를 해준다는 게 되게 마음이잖아요. 우선 뭐 사실 뭐 요즘 남 잘 돼도 잘 된다고 박수 주기 힘들고 모두가 배 아파하는 시대에 어떻게 보면 뭔가 그 자기가 마음에 드는 거에 대해서 이거 솔직히 뭐 너무 고맙다 잘 해줬다라고 얘기하는 게 너무 큰 마음이라고 느껴져요. 요즘에는 지민이가 워낙 잘하는 친구지만 그런 거 그래서 근데 어쨌든 굳이 막 여러 번 얘기를 해주니까 지민이한테 너무 고마웠었어요.
지민이는 뭐 사실 지민이가 없었으면 이제 지금의 방탄이 분명 없었을 거라고 생각을 하고.
If we are speaking more about Jimin's thoughtful personality, one of the things I have to mention is him being a charity fairy. Global Citizen featured BTS in 7 ways BTS inspires the world to create lasting change, mentioning Jimin as one to support everyone's right to learn. Jimin, also named Pride of Busan, has made several donations to support education in his home community, donating money and resources to help students in need of financial assistance. He makes donations quietly by himself or through his dad. Jimin is a part of the Green Noble Club for Children as a high-value donator. Most recent news that we got about Jimin was about him donating 100 million won to educational institutions, including schools and libraries, and of him donating to his hometown in Busan to a program made to promote residents' welfare, supporting the vulnerable, and protecting youth. He also has visited orphanages in his free time on his own, after promising the kids there that he will be back.
맞아 오빠. 언니 나그 뒤로 처음 봤어.
Oh God, he's so embarrassed.
Another sweet gesture Jimin does is he often sends flowers to his alma mater in Busan. In an interview with GQ, when all of his solo song achievements were mentioned, his humble personality once again shined through as he answered, "I don't think it should be taken literally. I think I'll be arrogant. I still lack a lot. I think it's correct to say I'll work harder." A journalist has said that a cheeky thing Jimin does. At the press conferences, Jimin usually would stare everyone in the eye, never breaking eye contact first, and making the reporters flustered. Also, one unique thing about his personality, contrary to him being young and somewhat on the internet, he really doesn't know that much slang that the kids these days use. And he likes phone calls over text messages. Talk about a rare gem. The Korean fans even jokingly call him a muggle or part muggle.
I love this one. He was so...
사실 귀걸이 하면 되게 간단해요. 저는 심플한 것만 주로 차기 때문에 이런 거 그냥 링이나 이런 것만 차서. 손민수가 도대체 누구예요? 아, 여러분 손민수 하십시오. 아, 손민수가 누군지 몰라요. 사람 이름인가 아닌가.
Japanese magazine My Mullet retracted Jimin's early footsteps in Busan. One of the cafe owners where Jimin used to eat it said Jimin was good at study, especially math. He kindly supported disabled friends and was always on the class committee. In middle school, Jimin danced poppin' at the school festival with a great reception. When my friends and family got together on the way home to eat chicken, I asked him to give me his autograph, and he said shyly, "I don't have a signature." I wish I had received his autograph at the time, and I regret it for the rest of my life. In an interview with the same magazine, Jimin's popping dance teacher has said he had many friends and was the type to get on well with others. He was intelligent, had leadership, and was the class president at school. There were times he would warn his friends who were being naughty, but it didn't make anyone feel unpleasant because he talks very well and polite. Whatever it is, he's the person to act first, and he'll play around when it's time to play. I've never seen him badmouth his friends, not even once. During his extracurricular dance classes in junior high school, he was very popular amongst the older girl students, so there would be many fans waiting for the lesson to end. The dance teacher also mentioned that Jimin still stays in touch with him in the school, and he thinks of Jimin as someone he can trust. Link for the interview in the subscription box. In the BTS, Beyond the Storybook, Jimin said, "I think the most ideal kind of person is an honest person. In the past, I tended to sweat the small stuff, and I would often hesitate in speaking out even when I had something to say. I wanted people to be smiling and have them hear me, which is why I would sometimes resort to exaggeration. I'd be acting like someone else, in other words. Then, from 2019, I would stay silent when I wanted to be silent, and tried speaking out against things when I didn't like them. And that's when I began to see it clearly. It's not that I didn't want to be alone, I just didn't want to be left behind." In an interview around this time with Reverse, Jimin states, "I'm the kind of person who likes to be loved. Looking back, I realized I do what I do not just for the work itself, but to be loved by my friends, family, the group, and fans. Even if I don't strictly owe our fans or group members anything in return, I feel a deep and sincere appreciation for all the things they do for me. I also saw some people for who they really are, some people who don't really care about me. Rather than pushing those people away, I learned how to react less emotionally to them. Likewise, I was able to be more emotionally honest with people who are very considerate toward me. Right now, Jimin's side job is actually being an angel. He also has fairies working under him."
Fairies are my servant.
요정은 제가 부리는 사람들이고 저는 천사고 제가 사실 천사인데 자꾸 이런 요정 같은 모습들을 보여서 미안합니다.
지민아, 혹시 천사라는 직업은 어때? 이게 또 일할 때 좀 힘들긴 해요. 아, 너가 천사야?
전 천사인데 이제 제가 요정을 부리는 쪽이었고
아. 직급이 좀 높았어요. 아, 그래?
약간 팀장 그 정도 생각을
너 나에게 어딨어?
네?
나에게 어딨어?
그러니까 이제 뭐 밑에 내려왔을 때
아니, 타락 천사예요? 아,
It's a fallen angel.
천사부터 낫겠는데 나도까지 내가 천사 직급이었어가지고
다른 요정들이 제입돼서 천국에서 쫓겨났다는 게 사실인가요? 수락한 건가요? 자발적으로 내려온 건가요? 대답해 주세요.
아, 어때요? 쫓겨났어요? 추락이에요? 자발적이에요? 뭐예요?
저는 프리다이빙으로
It was a free dive.
네, 자발적으로
Oh my God, he's so cute.
김하은님이
And he's like, oh.
Oh, the ones that met him at the airport. They weren't with him on the overseas trip, so he's greeting them.
Yes. Oh, the background musicians he greeted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saying hello to them.
And this
Yeah, I
is
remember
iconic.
아니면 한쪽 다리
그런 것도 되게
Him playing around. Even his hands are just graceful.
꽂히게요.
현수님과 지민이 비행기에서 한 행동은 승무원이 아미인 거 눈치채고 비행기에서 것 같대. 개부럽다 진짜.
진짜 부럽겠다. 부럽다. 제가 경험했던 거 아니고 동기 언니였던 분이 지민이랑 옹성우 씨랑 같이 탑승하게 된 거예요. 난리 난 거죠. 굉장히 멋질 뻔했는데 언니는 이제 나이가 많다 보니까 뭐 아이끼리 무슨 약속했고 잘 모르는데 어쨌든 같이 옆자리에 앉았으니까 사진 한 장 찍으면 안 될 거였는데 죄송합니다 하면서 되게 귀엽게 하시면서 사진 말고 제가 사인해주면 안 될까라고 하셨대요. 그래서 사인 좋다고. 아무리 유명하고 그래도 이렇게까지 배려해 주시는 분은 솔직히 많지는 않아요. 방찬 지민님도 역시 인성이
Oh, wow.
최고인 것 같고 그렇게 지금까지 큰 사랑을 받고 세계 최고가 아닌가 합니다. 무슨 그런 게 있을까요?
처음 받으시는 분들 계셨는데 긴장하셨는데 이제
Oh, this is yeah, that guy.
괜찮아 이거 5분이면 끝나 이러면서 이제 그렇게
가독여 주셨구나.
네, 가독여 주셔가지고
Oh, he went with all of them. Or maybe they did it all at the same time. I don't know.
사실 지민님하고 이 문제로 되게 얘기를 엄청 오래 했었어요. 다독여 주시고 되게 좋은 얘기 많이 해주셨거든요. 그래서 저도 그 얘기를 듣고 나니까 좀 앞으로 더 좀 잘 살자.
나 같았던 멤버 지민이가 여자 같죠. 지민이는 일단 애교가 많아요. 뭐 수고하신다 그러고 뭐 이렇게 어깨도 주물러주고 그랬죠.
귀엽고 이제 조용조용한 성격인 줄 알았는데
High school friend.
지내다 보니까 애가 얘도 되게 활발하더라고요. 장난도 많이 치고. 네. 아 근데 성격이 진짜 좋았어요. 착하고 그래가지고 뭐 학교에 그래 금방 적응하더라고요. 애들도 지민이 많이 좋아하고. 아 맞다. 막 학교에서 이제 보통 체력 검사, 이제 체력장 같은 거 하잖아요. 이제 전 그때 지민이가 얼굴도 하얗고 이제 귀엽게 생겨가지고 운동은 잘 안 할 줄 알았는데 얼굴만 애기지 진짜 몸은 또 그때부터 몸이 되게 좋았어요. 운동도 되게 잘하더라고요. 거기 학교 이제 예고였거든요. 예고 친구들은 이제 운동을 잘 안 하더라고요. 근데 지민이랑 저는 이제 운동하는 거 좋아해가지고 둘이 계속 같이 다니면서 계속 기록 내기했어요. 막 팔굽혀펴기, 막 멀리 뛰기 이런 기록 내기했었어요.
Oh, wow.
이번에 제가 농구 나갔을 때 사진을 응원해준 게 아직까지도 너무 고마운 것 같아요. 너무 아쉬웠습니다.
로맨스? 로맨스? 저 이런 자기적인 거 되게 싫어하거든요. 아니 근데 물론 저희가 아이돌이지만
근데 사실 지금도 저를 딱 봤을 때 크기가 나쁘진 않죠. 여성분들이 입었을 때는요. 이 정도가 적당해요? 아니면 좀 더 큰 게? 좀 더 긴 거야? 오케이, 그럼 됐어. 4.5에서 5.
Wow.
여러분들 입었을 때 기분 좋은 거야.
Remember, you're enough.
Just caring that much about, thinking about those things is rather amazing.
Yeah.
Contrary to his quite serious, wise and mature personality, Jimin also knows how to entertain a crowd, on stage or off stage.
There's Gogo.
I know. That. There's his stage persona.
Yep.
Oh, jeez. V.
You can see this more in the official BTS content. Jimin seems to toss any competitiveness that he has aside and just has a fun time, entertaining the viewers and not taking himself too seriously.
좋습니다, 여러분. 바람은 하면 끝까지 하면은 안 될 것이 없습니다. 오늘의 교훈 하면 된다. 이상 지민이었습니다. 쳤습니다.
Oh, that's with the bottles.
And it took him hours. He was in first place, and they got to that. Everybody passed him, and he was still there long afterwards.
Also, as much as BTS say Jimin is the most thoughtful and serious, they also say that he is one of the funniest members. He seems to have perfect comedic timing. He's quick with
Yes.
his sass, reads
Yes,
the
I
rim,
would
and
say
lightens
that.
up everyone's mood.
타인의 생각을 공유하고 협동하는 사람. 아니 근데 내가 지금 되게 개인 발전에 되게 능숙한 사람인데. 그렇지. 그런 척하면서 동료분들을 내가 겼다는 생각 안 해봤지. 야, 내가 볼 때 이번에도 저녁 때만 나올 것 같다. 오늘 지금 아니 아까는 안 나왔거든. 내가 강대실에서 지금 발도 보기 싫어.
전에 몸을 재고 오늘 아침에 잤다. 우리가 뭐 이쪽 온 거예요. 아 진짜? 이쪽 온 거예요.
내가 들어도 좀 욕 같아서 절대 아니에요. 막 다 보실 수 있을까? 왜냐면 또 신경 쓰이는 불편하는 거 아니야?
Of course, it's during a live show.
저는요, 가방에서 뭐가 나오는지 알아요? 이게 나올 거예요. 여러분, 저는
You see the look on J.O. Oh my!
못 던지면 괜찮아요. 뒤에만 생각할게요.
얘기지만 2021년은 은근히 진영이 저를 웃겨줬다고 생각합니다.
이거는 그러니까 아니 지민이 2013년 때부터 쭉 야 되게 당신
감성 되겠어?
나 당신한테 이제 웃음 안 준다. 갖고 와. 도로 갖고 와.
Oh my god.
In the end, this naturally gifted and talented man just wants to be on stage and perform in front of the crowd.
춤을 출 때는 다른 생각이 안 나서 다른 세상에 온 것 같아서 너무 좋았다 이런 얘기를 했는데 여러분들이랑 같이 하는 시간도 비슷한 것 같아요. 되게 다른 세상에 온 것 같아서 너무 행복했었던 것 같아요.
This love for stage reflects in an answer he gave in a Weverse interview. I don't consider my main profession, performing and singing, as going to work. But when I'm doing something else with the camera right in front of me, that feels like work. Singing and performing for our fans isn't work. It's something I really, really want to do.
세상.
In a GQ interview, he said, yes, the phrase dance is a world of my own is exactly right. I realized whenever I'm dancing, I feel happy and free, unburdened by any thoughts. Dance has the power to make me feel that way. Jimin, as a solo artist, is now just starting to show us his different colors. When asked if there are any filters he hasn't shown yet, he answered, yes, there are many. If you look at the color of the filters I've shown you, it's only red, blue, and yellow. I think I showed you about half of it. I still have a lot to show you. In an interview with Vogue Korea, when asked about being talented at everything, Jimin answered, as a pop artist, I want to excel at both dancing and singing. I also want to perform a diverse range of musical genres and themes instead of sticking to just one type. I want to show my fans only the best, but I also have to take a healthy, sustainable approach. Jimin has always been exemplary. From his younger school years till now, he has always been someone you can look up to and learn from. Are you ready to explore more of his artistry?
만들어갈 수 있다.
More Jimin videos and articles in the description box.
Well,
this is
goodness. This was very informative.
Yes.
There was a lot of things that I didn't know. And then there were some that we're looking at, but we saw it through a different perspective.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And to put it all together like this, it was done really well.
So,
and,
hats off to the Jimin
videos.
He was good. He was fantastic. It was put together very well done. Hats off to you, because I mean it
was very enjoyable and very informative, and it just makes you appreciate that man even more. And
what he means to the whole of BTS. And I was surprised that they didn't touch on a little bit of the friendship of V and him, to tell you
Maybe
the truth.
They figured that is so well known that they didn't need
even
to
do that, I guess.
But yeah, I mean, they could have touched on that. They could have touched on the way he was when he had his surgery, and
yes,
he was
absolutely.
so supportive of him that you know that would have been something also. But this already is a long video,
and we appreciate it. If you made it all the way through with us, we appreciate it so much. And we just thank you for coming, for clicking on the video itself. And you had to come up and see what we were doing.
I didn't want him to bark at us, so I figured I'd bring him up.
That's right.
So,
and if you liked the video, like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes.
It will help us grow the channel. And
if you'd like to support us a little further, we do have a Patreon.
We do.
You could check that out.
And we have Ko-Fi. If you want to buy us coffee, we would greatly appreciate it.
We like coffee.
Yes, we do.
A lot. So, the Patreon is purplingadventures.com, and all the links are in
Actually, it's Purpling Adventures 806.
806. Sorry.
So come and see us. We do put out content that is early access, that some
things that we can't put on YouTube. So
yes, or we put on Patreon first before it goes.
Well, that's early access, honey.
Well, that's what I'm saying. My gosh.
Well,
okay.
All right.
Well,
So that's us.
we
Lisa,
Beverly. So we thank you very much. Thank you for all the love and support that you've shown us. And
happy birthday, Jimin.
Jimin.